Hey, family, welcome to another edition of Cool Jazz Conversations here on WSSB. My name is Marcellus Shepard, also known as the Bassman. Well, today I have the pleasure of bringing in a brother who is a good friend of mine. Every time I see him, it's always a top shelf time. He is one incredible guitarist, producer, and all-out great humanitarian. Please welcome to Cool Jazz Conversations, the one and only Wayne Bruce. How you doing, bruh?
What's going on, brother? How are you, man?
Every day above ground is a good day for me, man.
Me as well. I mean, I'm thankful that you would even invite me on this platform, being that you owe me money. You stop running. You finally stop running. I still want my daggone money, though.
You know what? Okay, wait a minute. Let's tell them. What do I owe you money for?
Everything. I don't want to go to it. I don't need to go to it here on record.
Oh my gosh. Wayne Bruce, ladies and gentlemen, he is the leader of the incredible group Spur of the Moment, which we will be talking about in a little bit. But Wayne, I guess it's not too late. Well, technically it's too late to say, because, after the second, third week, you kind of looking at people like, okay, yeah, man, but Happy New Year, bro.
Thank you, brother. Happy New Year's, all of them to you. Don't you love when people say Happy New Year's?
Happy New Year.
You're like, which one?
Which one? How many years are we talking about? Yeah.
All of them.
But here it is. It's 2021. We are still in a state of COVIDity, if you will.
Wow.
If that is a word, it is now.
It's not. It is now.
I just coined it and also just trademarked that as well. So please don't try to use it.
No more. Anyway.
But how is your mental state in this COVID time, man? Because I know cats are just... The extroverts out there are hurting, if you will, not being able to get out and do what they normally do. So here it is. We've been in this thing for a year now. Mm-hmm. How's your mental state?
So I think the difference is you think I'm an extrovert. I think that's where the separation is. But I am, my wife used to call me the most extra introvert she's ever known. Wow. So she's like, you like being around people, but not more than you like being at home. So it's a thing with me. The mental process of this whole year has been devastating for everybody.
Yes.
First, I mean, it's not just a musician. It's just not me. It's just not a creator as I am. But you have to look at it on the basis of everybody in the world. And if you think about it on that basis, then who are you to get down and be, I mean, it's affecting everybody. You're not the creator didn't single you out.
Right.
And so, after a couple weeks in it, being with a healthcare professional, physician makes a difference for me. Mm-hmm. So I got a chance to understand what was going on and what was the need to shut everything down. Now, we could get into a whole politics thing, but we don't want to go there.
No.
But I understand. So I kind of flipped it like this. I am a creator. So, and I am made in the image of my creator. Mm. So if I'm made in that image of the creator, then I am put here to create also. So it doesn't matter if I create music or we flip the script to I'm producing video and streaming videos and created 3 shows, 1 show for my wife, 2 shows for other people in the industry. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't matter. I create. So I'm going to create. And long as when I start taking that stand, which was early on, mm-hmm. everything got better. Everything opened up for me. So, I mean, I'm looking at a product of my own thinking of moving past what has happened around me and try to move forward in it. I mean, that's what we have to do, bro.
You know, you touched on the fact that your wife is a healthcare provider. Please share with everyone exactly what Dr. Melissa does.
Well, she is amazing, man, and I'm like you. I'm lucky to have a great wife.
Amen.
I mean, we're lucky to have great women, and she is a physician. So she wrote a book a few years ago called "Excuse Me, Doctor, I've Got What," and it was how to navigate the healthcare system once you get a diagnosis. So everything, she was involved in helping to write the ACA and helping to get hospitals up to date in what was going on concerning the ACA, Affordable Care Act. And then she is a certified medical quality specialist. So she's a mercy room physician who transferred into assistant dean of a med school, who transferred into a consultant, who, you know, is now about medical quality. So it's about how people are producing healthcare for us. Right. And then with this COVID thing, she's become like a leading voice in our community, in the African American community, and soon to be in all the communities, just on COVID. And that was just from me prompting her about the care of our parents, because we take care of our parents. Wow. And it was just like, hey, man, if we don't get a handle on this thing could kill our parents.
Yeah.
She dug in and studied and researched, and every week, and she has our show. We turned that book into a show.
Nice.
First, we turned it into a curriculum for schools. Then we turned it into a show, a streaming show where she answers questions every week on the pandemic and on other healthcare issues. So,
well, what's the name of the show and where can folks find it?
It's called Excuse Me, Doctor. and it's Monday nights on Facebook Live and on YouTube Live under that. You can just look for Be Health Empowered or Dr. Melissa Clark. She had to keep the Clark because it costs too much to change it to the Bruce, bro. And we about saving the nickel.
Oh, man.
And that helped us out. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
You never know what's going to help you.
Right.
I changed that name. I was able to save a few pennies.
Yes, sir.
Might get a grill one day.
One day. We're going to talk about that later on, too. But Wayne, you're born and raised DMV.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where exactly did you grow up in the DMV?
Well, I always say I was born on Georgia, right? Mm-hmm. And people say, you from Georgia? I say, I'm from Georgia Avenue.
Yeah.
In Washington, D.C. So, yeah, there up until my junior high years. And then my mother and I moved to Suitland.
Okay.
So, product of Prince George's County.
Yes.
And then went to school at University of Maryland. So I attended University of Maryland. I'm an alumnus of University of Maryland. So kind of in this area the whole time. And this has been fertile ground for me.
Yeah, most definitely. So growing up in DC on Saturday mornings, what was it that Mama Bruce and Papa Bruce were playing when it was cleanup time in the house? What songs were played? What artists were played in the house?
Wow, that's cool. First, Papa Bruce could have been at camp most of the time. That Bama was away sometimes.
Okay.
For stretches of years.
Oh, Lord.
That's my man. That's my man. I take care of him now. So, he had some. So, I always say I'm a product of a scientist. My mother was a microbiologist and a gangster. My dad was a gangster.
Yeah.
So he was in that life. That was his life. And some stretches he was away at camp. So, but I had a house of love.
I took my hat off in his honor, by the way.
Thank you. He now has, he doesn't wear his gangster hats anymore.
Mm-hmm. Wherever he lays his hat is his own.
Right. 85 years old and still thought he was a gangster up until last year. I had to say, bruh, that's over. I like that. But what was going on, man, while she was cleaning, man. So I actually lived in a house with my mother, my grandmother, my great aunt and uncle.
Oh, wow.
And, 5 children, my mother and father and 5 children and my great aunt and uncle. So we had generations. So at any point through the weekend, as I remember, my mother would be playing Nancy Wilson, Cannonball Adderley, or some kind of Wes Montgomery, which was her man.
Okay.
And my brother could be playing Jimi Hendrix on his full stereo, and the ladies, so my sisters were playing Motown, and meanwhile my grandmother's playing Mahalia Jackson, and her sister and husband are playing Count Basie and that Duke Ellington.
Incredible.
So being the youngest, I couldn't touch any of the radios or any of the stereos. So I had to listen to everything. Right. So I couldn't get out of listening to anything, and I couldn't change it. So wherever in the house I went, there was something playing, or whatever time there was some music playing. So I had to listen and learn.
Right.
The only thing you could do is absorb it.
You absorbed. That's exactly what I was about to say, man. You absorbed all of that, man. How incredible that is. All of those different genres of music in one household and on one particular day. It was similar for me in my household. But what started you on your journey on the guitar?
So my brother played drums, and I wanted to be like that. My mother played drums first.
Get out of here.
My mother got to college at Virginia Union. She actually got a scholarship for drum and bugle, as they call it like that.
Okay.
And she played drums, and we had her sticks until an unfortunate accident of children.
I know y'all get y'all behinds beat.
Oh, man. That whipping I can remember today.
Yes, sir.
Bruh, that whipping was like nothing else.
Yes.
What happened was my brother was playing drums, and I want to be like him, so I was playing drums. So, but somehow my heads on my drums were getting torn, and my sticks were getting lost every day. When that happened.
Wow.
Like the big boy, he was bigger than I was. He's like 6'3", 300 pounds at 13.
Whoa.
So he would break my stuff. So I was like, okay, I can't be like him and hang with him if I play the same instrument. I figured that out early.
Right.
So I wanted to be like him and hang around him. So I picked the cool instrument, which was the guitar. And that kicked off the guitar thing. And very early on, I was probably about 8 or 9 when my dad brought me a guitar. And my mom always said it was between her getting a winter coat and me getting a guitar. And she didn't get her winter coat that year.
Oh,
and
Lord.
so later when I started touring, I bought her a winter coat and some other things from that guitar. So
a little bit of fur on it.
A little bit.
Cat. Muskrat.
No, it wasn't no cat.
Oh, okay.
No muskrat.
Faux.
No, it wasn't. It was a real deal, Doc.
Oh, okay. Come on,
We ain't gonna say it was a mink or fox or something like that. Man, your boy here. Dropped a couple of them checks on a coat for her.
Yes, sir. So, you get into the guitar. Did you ever go to any other instrument?
It was guitar for me. It was guitar, drums, bass a little bit.
Okay.
It was guitar for me. I felt that was the instrument that could give me my voice. Now, I always wanted to play cello.
Really?
And every time I got in school band, they would try to put me on double bass, and I would rebel. I would be like, I'm just not going to do it.
What was it about the cello that pulled you in?
I never know, but as I grew up, I found its voice closest to human voice. Like the register that the cello is in is in the same register generally that human voice is in.
Wow.
Like tenor saxophone. Those are the instruments that have that same kind of register. But cello for me, just I love to see. And growing up, I don't know what celloists I saw, but then later watching Yo-Yo Ma and those kind of people.
I was just about to say
Yo-Yo Ma, and I'll tell you later about a story about him. But seeing those kind of people very early on kind of changed it for me. I really wanted, and never. I said on a significant birthday I was going to buy me a cello, but that didn't happen.
Well, I mean, you turned 70 next year, so
yeah, watch your ministry. I caught that. I was in the middle of talking, but I did catch that. I did. I'm not going to let that go.
May the good Lord bless you to live to see many, many more.
Hey, man. Hey.
If you were just joining us, it is Cool Jazz Conversations with yours truly, Marcellus Chapard, the Bassman, joined today by the man, the myth, and the legend who goes by the name of Wayne Bruce, one of the coolest cats I know. And he did not pay me to say that. Money, please. Anyway, Wayne, let's move ahead a little bit. Okay. You came up on guitar, you fell in love with the cello, never quite got to it, but it's coming soon. When did you, in fact, start performing with a band? Tell me about your first band experience.
Wow, that was in, I think, junior high school.
Okay.
So junior high school, Hot Ice.
Hot Ice, R&B or go-go?
No, go-go wasn't invented yet.
Oh, okay, that's right.
So that's 50. For us. Did you say 50s, bro?
No.
I will rip that voice out of your skin. So in
this early 70s.
This is very early 70s.
Yes.
So I'm in seventh grade in junior high school, and I move into a neighborhood that just so happened to have other kids with instruments. And you get in and you play guitar and let's start a band and so in DC, although we lived in houses, it wasn't set up like Maryland. Maryland was like, wow. Yeah, but you go over somebody's house and they would have a pinball machine and drums and guitars, and you're like,
got the whole setup.
Y'all are rich. So they allowed us to come in and play, students from the school, and that kind of changed my life. Seventh grade, and that continued through high school, different iterations of bands. And once I got to high school, Dwayne Smitty Smith, who plays with Boney James, the Isley Brothers, and we went to school. He was a year older than me. He is older than I am. Okay. He is older than I am. So,
he was at Suitland as well.
He was at Suitland.
Gotcha. I was at Largo, by the way.
Oh, were you? So yeah, we didn't even count Largo. But anyway, so actually we played against each other in junior high school. He went to Andrew Jackson, and I was at Suitland Junior High, and I was on the baseball team, and he was a baseball star. I was on the team. He was a star in baseball. He and his brother. And I quit baseball after playing that squad.
Wow.
They were that good. Okay. They were like mini pro squad. So when I got to Suitland, I came behind him, and he was on the football team, and I was like, wow, Dwayne is playing football and he plays bass. And so he had come and played bass with us, and eventually we got together and started bands and played in bands all through high school. And he left to go to the Air Force military, and I decided that I didn't like school anymore.
Did you now?
College graduate, high school dropout.
Wow.
Something you don't know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at that.
So look at God. I mean,
so what pulled you back in to get yourself together and get back in school?
I graduated actually before my class. I went and got my GED before my class graduated. And
okay, gotcha. So you had just made the decision, you know what, I'm just done with school.
I made the decision because I was stupid. Like I wanted star, but you were scared to leave the house because you wanted to keep eating because you were a fat boy. Like, and mama cooked it. So like, and she was like, either you're going to go to work or you're going to go to school. Because nobody, when I leave the house, you have to leave the house, brother.
Right.
And she made that determination. So I worked. I lied about my age and worked and found out I didn't like that. And somebody said, hey man, I got a program for you. Actually, my cousin had gone through the same thing and he got a program for me. And I went into that program and became a speaker nationwide for that program.
Nice.
They toured me around the country and made sure I got my high school education, and they got me into college.
Nice.
And so I took the test.
Not just into college, but a premier school, a premier university, the University of Maryland.
Yeah.
An expensive school too.
My test scores were high enough where I started getting college offers.
Mm-hmm.
So they were like, nobody's ever scored like this on a GED. I was a really dumb kid living in, I have a smart kid living in the dumb kid's body. You just want to act up. But I knew I didn't want to work anymore. That was hard. Working as a child with grown people, it was grown people. They were like, they didn't care if you played guitar or not. They were like, dude,
you got work to do.
You didn't finish your work. You were like, hey, you were in real spaces. So I went to college. Man, and it was beautiful.
Wow.
College, I stopped playing guitar though. So I quit playing for like 7 years.
Okay. What did you major in college?
It wound up being individual study major, music administration. So I wound up going into arts administration, not music administration, arts. And I thought I was going to run a gallery or something or run a venue because I knew I liked the arts, but I didn't think I had it to be a musician.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I don't have it. I'm not good at it.
But look at you now. Yeah,
that last year, I was like, let's try to give it a go for a year. And I gave it a go. And some encouragement from my line brother. I had pledged my fraternity, Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, the best fraternity.
Behind Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. Yeah, go ahead, bro. It's all good.
My line brother was a music major.
Okay.
And, we kind of connected on that. And we talked about music constantly. And he was just like, man, just practice a little bit, And he encouraged me to practice. And that, last year I practiced and I was like, maybe I can make a go of it. And then leaving the university, I was at home. And my mom's like, you got a year, bruh. I'm going to give you a year. You have 1 year to do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
After that, all the mortgages, you're going to either pay half the mortgage here or you're going to go get your own place.
Just had one of those conversations not too long ago.
You got to have them there. Now I'm a grown man. People like, hey, doc, this is not free anymore.
No.
And she was like, okay, I'm going to give you, she gave me 4 months at first and then saw my commitment. And she was like, okay, I'm going to give you a year. And within that year, I start playing out with people.
Nice.
Julie Hall was my first gig, like as a paid, you got paid. And I was in a band with Federico Pena and all these people thought, so I tell people this story. I researched what I wanted to do for a year. I went to clubs every week for a year to see what I wanted to do. But I was just doing I was just doing like a reconnaissance.
Mm-hmm.
Like
just observing, seeing what the playing field was and who does what. I just thought you drank and came to hear us play. Wow.
They never knew
I thought you were a fan.
They thought I was a fan. And when I could remember one day somebody came into a rehearsal, they were like, I thought you play an instrument? And then they were like, you're good?
Wow.
And from that, Scott Ambush asked me to be on a record, and, I started recording, and then I started my band because nobody was hiring guitarists. And I played with, early edition of Spur of the Moment was Michelle Ndegeocello, who was Michelle Johnson at the time.
Right.
Bassist Michelle Ndegeocello. It was all kinds of people, man. That's, if you want it and somebody gives you the opportunity to work hard for it, you got to go do it. And so I haven't looked back to music since.
How about that, man? If you're just joining us, we are on the line with Wayne Bruce, incredible guitarist and producer as well. His production credits are crazy. We'll talk about that and more in just a bit, and also the group Spur of the Moment. But first, let's hear something from Spur of the Moment right now. This one is one of my favorite tunes from Spur of the Moment. It's Food for the Dog here on Cool Jazz Conversations on WSSB. We are grooving to the sounds of Spur of the Moment here on Cool Jazz Conversations. Marcellus Shepard, the Bassman, hanging out with Wayne Bruce from Spur of the Moment. You just heard them there. Spur is one of the hottest contemporary bands in the land. Have been now for, you guys are celebrating like 30 years now, right?
Years, bro. 30 years.
30 long years. And what some folks know is that not only do you all produce your own projects, you got a couple of albums out there, but you also back up some of the most top-tiered artists out there over the years when they come to town, when they go on tour, from Patty Austin, the late great George Duke, Will Downing, Layla Hathaway, Lettucey. That list goes on and on and on. How crazy is that? And at what point did it click for you all to realize that this was a viable market for you as a band?
Wow. I think that happened early on. So early on, like the first couple weeks of the band,
really,
we got visited by Carl Anderson, who was an incredible singer, who was Jesus Christ Superstar back in the day. And he had hits out, not the Kung Fu Fighting Carl Anderson.
Okay.
But, not him, but he was a Broadway actor.
Okay.
From DC. And he sang with us, and we were playing at a club called the Ritz.
Oh yeah.
90.
I remember the Ritz,
right?
There's some big parties in there.
Right. He came to us and we played on Brian Lanier. We had picked up Brian Lanier because the original saxophonist had gone back to school, who was Bruce Williams, who is a tremendous straight ahead saxophone.
Oh yeah, Bruce Williams Quartet, boy.
And Bruce, the original.
You got to cut what? You got to cut Georgia Avenue and what is it? Oh man, killer album though. Yes, go ahead.
Right. I love. He grew up on Georgia Avenue.
Yeah.
So my brother used to call him the professor, and this is before he's now a professor. He's now a professor of music. He was at University of District of Columbia first, and left there and went to Patterson School of Music and studied with Jackie McLean. That's a whole nother
nice
thing. But then we picked up Brian Lanier from Brian Lanier. Everybody knows Brian.
Everybody knows Brian. Yeah.
So Brian was with us for 14 years. We were like, that's a marriage. 14
years.
Right. He was there 14 years, as long as some people are married. But we were playing at the Ritz, and Carl came and sat in and was like, man, you guys have something kind of special. And whatever you do, stay at it. And there's actually a place where you could back up singers. You guys listen. You have like something. You have this it. And from there, man, Gene Carn, Dexter Wanzel, we got to play with Dexter through Gene because Brian was Gene Carn's saxophonist. Dexter came to see the band, and he was like, Brian, I like the band. And he was like, okay, cool. Spur of the moment, we went on tour with Dexter Wansell, Billy Paul, all those old school acts.
Wow.
Just getting that seasoning, man.
Right. These cats have been around for years. You grew up listening to these cats.
I grew up listening to Dexter Wansell. Like, I remember when I met him, I was like, man, Life on Mars. Like, come on. Hold on. Life on Mars.
Right.
Life on Mars, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, if Nights Over Egypt.
Oh, yeah.
The Jones Girls. That's Dexter Wansell.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, that's a part
synthesizer of that. Yeah, man. Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to live all alone. Phyllis Herman. That's Dexter Wansell.
Yeah.
And he's telling us these stories. You know, so we're getting all this seasoning early on. And then cats would come through, like Najee was early in his career. Najee, Jonathan Butler, all those cats would come through and we were open for them. We got a chance to talk to them and they were all great. Now, these cats have now become our contemporaries.
Yeah.
And they're now our friends. Like I could call Najee up, hey, I need you to do this.
Right.
And he answers the phone. But before, we would look up to these cats and be like, you're actually out there doing it. And they would talk to us. They would share the knowledge. And that's one of the things. I think it clicked around 90, 91 that, hey, we might have something here that nobody else has. And one of the radio station PDs, Hector Hannibal.
Over at HUR.
Heard us and called us to do. He was like, man, you know, I got Tom Joyner coming in here. We need something special. Then Tom Joyner, the first Fly show.
The first.
We need a band.
Wow.
He was like, well, I got Will Downing and Angela Bofield coming in. Can y'all learn their songs?
Nice.
One rehearsal at 5:30 in the morning. The show goes live at 6.
Wow.
We do. They had a duet or something. They did. I Tried together. Together. They had never done it as a duet, but they did it as a duet.
Nice.
We had each learned the key they had it in, and from there, man, Will stayed in touch with us. I wound up working with Will for a number of years. Still work with Will.
Yeah.
Wound up backing up Angela Bofield. She called us. After then, I mean, so it's been a charmed life. You know, you never think you can do it until you're doing it, until you have to do it. Like, yeah, we have to do this.
Right.
Yeah. So it's been real cool in that manner.
No, it's absolutely awesome when I think about it. And I guess it kind of makes sense now. You know, I look at the number of years that you all have been out and you have 4 or 5 albums. And so you're not necessarily relying just on album income like some artists are, because you guys are you're gigging all year long.
Right.
You know, and so working on the album then becomes making the time in between those gigs to actually produce an album. Yeah. And I know, you know, it's been a couple of years now. I want to say 2017 is when In Too Deep came out, the last album, which feels like forever ago now.
Yeah. It's still rolling out. We still got track that people like, can you release this track as a single?
Wow. So you're still releasing singles.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And that's what the music biz is now. Right.
Game change.
Yeah.
Game changed in the middle of making that record, 2017, 2018. I held the record for a year. I held that record for a year or two. That record is...
Gosh, I think you held it for almost 3 years. I want to say you probably had most of it done in 2014.
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
Well, yeah, but that's the biz now is, you know, I don't call you on Wade and Bruck. Can I get a track?
You would call me out every week. Hey, look, I heard a track from it. Can I
right, why don't I have this? But I heard it in DC, but I don't have it in Baltimore. So yeah.
Yeah. So that record, I mean, just the game changed in the middle of the record.
Yeah.
Just the game changed. And also people became stars in the middle of that record, man. I mean, I look at Maimouna Youssef. I look at, you know, Chris Big Dog Davis, and all these people are like, Maimuna is a star now, legitimately and deservedly so. And then I look at Chris Big Dog Davis, who's a star now,
one of the top producers in the game.
And he always says he credits me as turning him onto the game. Smooth Jazz. Yeah, I mean, that whole story. That's a story. That's me saying. Actually, him and I were on tour with Will Downing, and we start playing. He started playing a what's the kid from Braid My Hair? What's the Braid My Hair kid from Baltimore? Is an artist. You can braid my Mario.
Oh, Mario. Yes.
He starts playing that because I used to have these long, dreads, twist or whatever.
The Milli Vanilli wig. I remember.
Okay, that's silent. Well, everybody that's on radio, that's called radio silent. Everybody on video, you can see my face. But everybody on radio, that's called radio silent.
Radio silence. Go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
So we start playing that in a sound check. He's like, wow. I said, look, I need to do that. I need to record that. He said, well, I got something else. So I said, okay, I'm going to bring you to DC. Like, really? I said, I need that in DC. He was like, why don't you just come to Connecticut? I was like, I'm not coming to Connecticut. I'm bringing you down. So I fly him.
Train.
He gets on the train. He's like, I don't fly, bro. I said, you don't fly? You fly for Will. I said, so he takes the train down, and the band is like, who is this guy? I'm like, hey, man, trust me, I found the diamond in the rock, right? Yes. Trust me. Everybody's like, you spending money to bring somebody in, and we have producers here. Bruh, nobody is like this guy. Nobody. And I bring him in, and that's not even the track we start on. We start on the Avant track. Boom, da 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 da. Ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum, boom. I forgot what's that tune. We do it for Streetwise. It winds up being a Streetwise record, right? And we bring him down. That was originally supposed to be on the Spur of the Moment record, right? And I'm trying to look it up now. What is that record now? You're supposed to know that. You're in radio. But we what is that song called? See, you're gonna make me look up that song on All Music.
Oh Lord. Actually, I got All Music up right now.
You're behind needed to know what that is.
Oh, you know what? It's Put You to Bed.
Is that Put You to Bed? No.
It wouldn't Put You to Bed?
Oh man. It was
I got Streetwise right here. Put You to Bed. 2009.
No, this is 2002.
Oh, shucks. Let me go back some more then. Let me see what we got here.
This is what is it?
We got the Slow Jams album. We have.
Was it? No, I was on the Streetwise album in 2002. The band wasn't.
See what I'm saying
about that? That's and Kim.
All they have, it just says Smooth Urban Jazz. It doesn't have the name of the Someone to Love You. Someone to Love You.
Yes.
Someone to Love You.
Someone to Love You.
You and Kim Waters. You and Kim Waters, right?
Yeah. Whatever it is, I bring that into. I'm going. I can't find it.
That's it,
and I don't remember it.
Someone to Love You.
You know, this is how out of things Avon is. He doesn't even come up on the radar. So I bring him in and we record that record, and Brian decides to leave the group.
Wow. And
we're like, whoa. He's like, and so he takes the song back home. And I was like, look, man, and I go to record with Kim, Streetwise. I had done a Streetwise record, and Kim is like, hey, man, I said, man, I really want to play something for you because this dude is producing our record right now. He was like, who is it, man? I was like, it's the best thing you've ever heard. Like, who is it? And we play it. He's like, oh, my God.
Wow.
Kim is like, oh, my God. He was like, let me have this. I said, so Kim calls the head of his label. Spur of the Moment doesn't get the deal, but
he got it. Oh my gosh.
but that's okay.
Right.
Because what's meant for us is meant for us, bro.
True.
And what's meant
do it, and it came back around.
Oh, plenty times, man.
Yeah.
It's come back around plenty times, but the world needed to know the name of Chris Big Dog Davis. And
Yes.
it's a blessing to Spur of the Moment, Wayne Bruce, and all of us, man. You know, just to the music industry, you got to know that name.
Yeah.
And, you know, I've worked with him on Mesa Records, and we co-produced the first Mesa record for Shawnee.
Nice.
So yeah, man.
And you know, and your production credits alone, I mean, you know, I'm looking at a whole list here. Kim Waters, Prophet Jones, Gerald Damian, Streetwise, Will Downing, Pamela Williams, Allison Williams, Marcus Johnson, Brian Lanier, Najee, Glenn Jones, Mr. Show Me, Kim Jordan, Phil Perry, one of the baddest whistlers out there, Vesta. I miss Vesta, boy.
Oh man, that was fun.
So many great people, man. You produced
Brian Culberson.
Yeah,
Brian.
So much.
Joe. Wow, man. God has been great. So you know, being a part of that's a kid who's a high school dropout, college grad, and who decided to really pursue his dreams. So I tell everybody, you know, the dreams are free. You got to go work hard.
Yes. Yes.
The hustle costs. The dream is free. The hustle costs, bro. The hustle. And it costs with sweat, you know, blood, sweat, and many a tear. And don't be scared. Don't be scared to cry, because there's going to be some pain in there.
Right.
And pain, you know, the pain is what helps the rhythm and the blues.
Oh man.
You know, one doesn't live without the other.
Yeah. Wow. So with all of these production credits, I'm just wondering when you're going to produce a track for me. I'm just trying to figure that out, Wayne Bruce. I don't, you know, I've made all these cameos on other albums, but matter of fact, you know what? I'm making a cameo on Art Sherrod Jr.'s latest album that comes out next week, but I've yet to make a cameo on a Wayne Bruce project.
How about this? I'm recording the Wayne Bruce project this year.
Okay.
Not the Spur of the Moment project.
Okay.
Another Spur of the Moment project, but the Wayne Bruce project, which will be our first solo record.
Nice.
And I will have you on sports. I'll have you come out and play your sports in the studio.
I can't stand you. Boy, you look at this radio and I can't say what I want to say. I can't stand you, boy.
We have you on sports. Now, we heard from your cafeteria days that you were the top sport player in the cafeteria.
I play a mean rib bone. Okay? I clean them bad boys off good and I put them together, boy. And man, let me tell you, you ain't heard nothing good. That movement, that's straight from the country right there.
That's straight from the country.
You know, funny enough, growing up, my mother had a friend and he would come to the house and he had them in a case. These bones were so clean and shellacked and he pulled them bad boys out and started to play them things. And I was like, what the hell is he doing?
Man, let me tell you,
man.
But that's part of our heritage.
Experience, yeah.
That's you give us like
anything.
You can take us from where we are, but understand that our DNA comes with a drum in it.
Yes, sir.
And from that drum, we can do anything.
Yeah.
So take us from any place and we'll rise above. And I'm not saying it in a superior language. I'm saying it in a language, one, approved, two, that, you know, when a people have been held down in any situation, I don't care who they are, what they look like, and what color they are. Mm-hmm. Those people tend to say, okay, you thought you were grinding me into the soil, but actually you're planting me.
Right.
And I will rise.
Right. Still I'll rise.
Yes.
Still all right. So all that to say that when you do the Wayne Bruce and Friends
Porks and ham bones.
you heard it right here first. Cool
Rib
Jazz Conversations exclusive.
Rib bones.
Yes.
We'll do a multi-track of ham bones
and rib bone.
A ham bone.
Okay.
You know.
Gotcha.
Gotcha.
I'm looking forward to it, and I will bring some bones fresh off of my Traeger. And as we move to talking about food, you know, everybody knows that I'm an avid griller, and Wayne Bruce claims to be a grill master. I have yet to.
No, you saw it early on.
See.
You didn't see it in the past year. I've had grill problems in the past year.
Really?
Yeah, I have.
I mean, you said grill problems so passionately, almost like a man talking about his woman problems. You know, I got grill problems, boy.
I got grill problems. I got 99 problems in a grill.
A grill is one.
Right.
Looking for somebody to hit you.
So look, but a few years ago, I told you when you laughed at me wearing gloves while I was grilling. Now everybody wears gloves while they're grilling. Y'all tried to play me.
Everybody is wearing gloves. Everybody's
right. I'm not going to forget you.
I got a box of them upstairs.
Right. Now, who wears gloves when they grill? Grill masters. Grill masters.
Yes, grill masters.
So now that you've caught up, had a year and a half on a real grill, posting sexy grilling pictures of yourself and overdubbing, doing voiceovers on, look at the beat.
Listen, let me tell you, you know, it's all about that self-promotion, man. You know, when you have a brand, you have to constantly put it out there. So yeah, so if I'm doing my grilling, I'm gonna throw some voiceover in there as well.
Well, look, man, you have really risen to the top of this grill game.
Thank you, brother.
Now, it looks great. I don't know if it tastes great, but I haven't been invited to get a plate or anything. I just want you to know that.
After you get your 2 shots, let me know.
All right. Now.
After you get both shots, let me know. And
I had to get both of them. Like my wife just got the second Moderna.
Yeah, you got to wait to get both of yours.
Have you gotten any of yours?
I haven't yet.
I mean, if you're healthy, you're young. You're not going to get them until August.
Thanks, Wayne. I appreciate that. But yeah, as soon as
August,
as soon as I'm able to get it, I'm going to go ahead and get it.
Johnson & Johnson van somewhere.
Oh man.
They throw out that one shot.
You know, they say they have a shortage of people to administer. I might show up with some doctor credentials.
Yeah, man, this situation worldwide is a little tough.
Serious, yeah.
And we're not laughing. I want to make this clear. I'm not laughing at anything concerning any part of this whole situation.
Not at all.
It's a very serious situation. But you have to make light, because at some points, if you can't laugh about this, you'll cry constantly.
Yeah.
About what's going on.
Yeah.
And you know, after I get my 2 shots, I shall pass the Shepard household.
Yes, sir.
And pick up a bone or 2.
Yeah.
Is that cool?
The smallest one. The smallest one. Cool Jazz Conversations, incredible producer, incredible writer, incredible guitarist, and just a plain out cool dude, man. Can't tell you enough. Love you, brother. Thank you for your time, man.
Appreciate you.
That is going to do it for Cool Jazz Conversations. The program is a production of TVM Productions here on its home of South Carolina State University's WSSB. We are available wherever you listen to podcasts, everywhere from iHeartRadio to Spotify, Amazon Music, Player FM. You can even say, Alexa, play Cool Jazz Conversations, and she'll say, sure. But definitely check us out, and also follow us at Cool Jazz Conversations on Facebook and Instagram. And you can download the podcast at your convenience at cooljazzconversations.podbean.com. My name is Marcellus Shepard, the Bassman. My name is Marcellus Shepard, the Bassman.
Right, bro.
I'll see you next time.
He does bass. all his turkeys, all his ribs. He based them. The Based Man. That's your new name.
I'll see you next time right here on Cool Jazz Conversations.